All right, welcome back to What She Said Sports, everybody. Okay, so it's the evening right out. We made it to the evening. This is the third podcast of today. It's a lot going on. This evening's podcast, I want to talk about how difficult Kevin Stefanski made Shedeur Sanders' journey. Why is that important? Because Kevin Stefanski should be fired. And I don't want people to understand how you shouldn't just turn the page with him and keep letting him be the head coach, with Shedeur Sanders making it to QB1, a position Kevin Stefanski has worked tirelessly to prevent Shedeur from getting. I want you to understand how it's not a good idea to allow Kevin Stefanski to remain the head coach with at the helm of the team, a player he just disrespected again publicly in front of his own peers, which seeks to undermine Shedeur's leadership of the team. I want people to understand, when people disrespect you publicly, it's intentional. They are undermining you. The quarterback, the most important position on the team, because they told us multiple times. Day 3, post-draft press conference. If the quarterback position is the most important position on the team, why is it Kevin Stefanski chose to disrespect Shedeur last night as the quarterback who led that team to victory in front of his peers? This man has to be fired immediately. I do not care what type of attachment Haslam has to him. And if he's not fired and they continue to proceed and he continues damage, hurling disrespect at this young man, sabotaging him, if he gets him hurt, it's going to be hell to pay. The Browns have had so many opportunities to stop and start doing the right thing, to stop discriminating, to stop Stefanski from holding Shedeur back, to make sure Shedeur is being prepared just in case the QB1 got hurt. And you could see Stefanski is not happy about Shedeur being QB1. So why would you think you could trust Stefanski to be the head coach with Shedeur, who's QB1? Stefanski just disrespected and undermined Shedeur's leadership of the team not even 36 hours ago. And they supposed to go get ready to play against the 49ers. Yes, it does not have to disrupt Shedeur as a person, but it is highly disruptive to the team. Myles Garrett came out on the record. He don't care if Shedeur is a rookie. He makes all of us better, and I will go to war, to battle with. See, they thought giving Myles Garrett the game ball would keep him in check. Currying favors. Because maybe it worked with Jerry Jeudy, unless he decided to be Judas on his own. They gave Myles Garrett the game ball, and they should have gave one to Shedeur. Because not only did Shedeur have a historic night and do something no other Browns rookie has done in 30 years. Not only did in the first half Shedeur outpace any QB, any rookie QB this season with over 125 yards in the first half alone. He also stopped a 3-game losing streak. Now that should have been something Kevin Stefanski was happy and thrilled about. But see, for Kevin Stefanski, it's not about winning for him. It's about keeping Shedeur away from a position he doesn't think Shedeur is worthy of. I saw attorney Ben Crump post it again today. And then it hit me. I said, I saw a snippet of Shedeur Sanders' press conference. We get ready to take a look at it. And I said, you know what Shedeur is doing? Something we haven't seen him do throughout this process. Be transparent about what's been going on behind the scenes. We had to hear through the grapevine Shedeur didn't get first team reps, but he told us directly. Well, I haven't had first team reps, but what I was up against was not knowing who the players are. Tellers told us this after the game when he said, well, I've only heard his cadence 3 times. Shedeur is being transparent about what he's been going through. And something I heard him today, I shared it in my stories. We're going to take a listen to Shedeur's press conference. He said, this has been extremely difficult time. It has been. Stefanski has been making his life hell. They have been throwing everything at this young man. Did they rob him for evidence and to run him off? That cannot be overlooked. It cannot be overlooked at the lies that Kevin Stefanski has put forth. Shedeur can't read the defenses. He can't learn the plays. He's not cerebral. Dylan is a supercomputer. He's ready to take over. It's okay to trade Pickett. Dylan can step up at the 2. No, he can't. And then the surprise came when Flacco left and Dylan had to step to the front. And that's what began to expose Stefanski for his lies. If Stefanski just really wanted Dylan to be the guy, he never had to tear down Shedeur. He should have did everything in his power to get Dylan ready. But he knew Dylan was never that guy because Dylan was an undrafted free agent. So cruelty was the point with Stefanski. And now Shedeur is being transparent. And he chose the perfect timing because if he would have been transparent during the season, he probably wouldn't even be here. So he kept quiet, he kept his head down, and he let his game and the victory speak. And after he did well, and people tried to go in on him for the Ravens game, it quickly became apparent he was set up in that game to be taken down by his own team. The same team that Stefanski stood in front of not 36 hours ago and made Shedeur seem irrelevant to the process of winning. We don't want you. We don't value you. Here's the game ball. Myles Garrett. Curry in favor. But Myles Garrett said it. I don't care if you're a rookie. He make all of us better. So when they think they can get these guys to get quiet, they give them stuff. I wonder what they gave Jerry Jeudy. I wonder if his $54 million contract was not guaranteed and then suddenly he got some guarantees. He got something because he didn't stop running for free. Understand that. He didn't stop running for free. And it shows just how far some of these people will go to set up their own players. See, I never really thought about that as an NFL fan. I guess I never stopped to really think. I mean, yeah, Bounty Gate. We trying to get at the other team. I get that. It's wrong, but I get it. But I don't get setting up your own quarterback. I don't get that at all. And I don't get how it is they selectively recruit Black players to set up their own Black quarterbacks. They got A.J. Brown over there screaming and crying in Philadelphia. And people thinking he don't like Jalen Hurts. I'm like, if you don't have a problem with Jalen Hurts, I suggest you be quiet. Because just like Jerry Jeudy was screaming and crying, he didn't want Shedeur to be the quarterback. Let them tell it. So when these guys going to be smart enough to not letting the media play them because they unhappy they not getting the ball? And people are calling Jerry Jeudy out again today. You was crying about not getting the ball. Shedeur set you up nicely. And what you do? Stop running. That's how you thank him for thinking of you. Stop running. And did you do that at the behest of Kevin Stefanski? Because we already knew Stefanski was setting up Shedeur. A lot of people are surprised that the veterans, that the rookies are looking up to are the ones who stop running their routes. So the quarterback can't get a passing touchdown. How much that costs? I mean, if Kevin Stefanski is willing to go through lying, keeping Dylan out there, willing to lose, but then when Shedeur get out there, he get robbed. And then when Shedeur get out there, Baltimore protected Dylan, but they coming at Shedeur like they trying to knock his block off. And were. And then we see the Raiders. Big boy landing on Shedeur legs. 3 roughing the passes, only 1 call. So is the refs working with Stefanski, or is Stefanski and the refs and Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman working with somebody else? This is how they have made this young man's life difficult, because he has to go out here every week and defeat the Browns first. Then he got to defeat the opponent at the same time. He should just be free to trust his teammates, but he can't. He can't trust his head coach. He damn sure can't trust Jerry Jeudy or Cedric Tillman. And if Stefanski is still the head coach, let's guess the play calling is going to call for Shedeur to throw to Cedric Tillman or Jerry Jeudy. How is that Jerry Jeudy only got one reception and he chose to stop running? One. Stephen Tillman only got one reception. He chose to stop running. 2 touchdowns set up in the first half, first quarter. And it goes to Quishon Junkins, and Shedeur gets pushed out the way like he's irrelevant. And after the game, where he turns a nothing into something with Dylan Sampson and uses him as a receiver because they kept trying to stop him getting a passing touchdown with the receiver. So he took a running back after he had to escape the blitz and turned him into the receiver and still got the passing touchdown. So they did all of that for nothing. And all they have done is expose themselves. But Kevin Stefanski has unjustly made Shedeur Sanders' journey extremely difficult. And he's being transparent and he's talking about it. So listen to when he talks. And when I think about all of the posts I'm starting to see from Ben Crump, I told you, Shedeur got one hell of a case. So even though Shedeur can get out of Kevin Stefanski's traps, and we're seeing him set the traps, what we haven't seen is everything that has transpired behind the scenes since May. The things that made Shedeur not want to do this. The things that made people say that they say Shedeur is repeating the same play over and over and over in front of everybody. Of course, cruelty was the point. That Shedeur reported back tightness, but he was fine. And Kevin Stefanski say, nah, he can't play. That the only time Shedeur gets to play is when Dylan is hurt. I saw footage from the booth with the guy calling the game and some Cleveland Browns people in there. I keep trying to figure out how to show it to make sure it's not copyrighted. They were so excited when Shedeur threw that pass to Dylan Sampson. They was in there jumping up and down, and I saw the Cleveland, I guess, logo and stuff. I said, oh, these are Cleveland people in the booth. They not going back to dinking and ducking. I said that yesterday. Kevin Stefanski think they're going back to dinking and ducking. No, they're not. And I said it was the fans. Today, I saw the people who work for the Browns in the booth. They not going back to dinking and ducking. So I don't know what the clown going to do next. But keeping him around is going to be the same thing as the New York Giants keeping Daboll. And what eventually happened to Daboll? He got fired. And why did he get fired? Malik Neighbors got hurt. Cam Scatterboo got hurt. Jackson Dart got heavily concussed. And they had no choice but to give it to who? Jameis Winston. And now they saying he need to be a starter. Remember, Jameis Winston was just in Cleveland last year, and they demoted him and devalued him to damn near a 3rd or 4th string QB after being a starter. That's what happens to black quarterbacks. You don't even have to do nothing but be traded to another team and you trade it down. That's what they was hoping to do to Shedeur until yesterday. And understand that Kevin Stefanski is somewhere trying to figure out how to make Shedeur look like trash in this game or make him unavailable to be QB1 so he could go back to Dylan. So ain't nothing left but to keep recruiting people to sell out their own quarterback or get him hurt. Ain't nothing left. Unless he going to put some in his food, and I don't think he over his food. But he could be over the people that do his food. Y'all think I'm joking, don't you? That's because y'all don't know what desperation looks like. People say Stefanski is stubborn. Nope. He doesn't think Shedeur is worthy of being the franchise QB, the QB1. It ain't about him looking bad because he know Dylan can't get it done. He know Dylan was his choice. It's about, damn it, I said you ain't worthy to be the damn quarterback. That's to start this team. And he going to figure something out. See, y'all don't understand racists. Y'all don't. I keep telling you, go look at Julian Johnson's law page. Even when black people win in court, they still get hanged. Yep. Because you don't understand how deep-seated and vile the hatred is. How they focus on nothing else but to destroy black people, black excellence. That's what y'all don't understand. How dedicated they are to it and how gross they can be. and how they will stop at nothing because they get fixated, stuck on stupid. They don't just stop and retreat and let it go. They're going to find another way. That's why Kevin Stefanski should be fired and Shedeur need to keep talking. I wonder how his case is going, where they're looking into finding out who did it. They should already have the contact tracing information, the ability to ping a tower or a geofence by now. They should have that warrant by now. Let's see how long it takes. I told you, if they don't come up with nothing, don't be surprised, because they worked just as tirelessly as Kevin Stefanski works to hold back Shedeur. Those people put more effort into concealing their identity and who sent them than they did to taking stuff. But Shedeur is being transparent. Let's take a listen to his press conference, because that's what matters. But before I get into that, let me share this little cute moment, because it can get a little heavy around here. All right. I said I wanted to see Snow at the game. His mama, here we go. Snow and his mama at the game. So every now and then we got to get us a little dose of Snow. I was thinking his mama need to go and start a children's clothing line, because he always dressed so cute. I saw him with a photo. She posted photos with him at the game in Colorado, because he's been traveling. He's been moving. He was in Colorado, and he got a I Love Papa Prime shirt. Then he was on the field, and Coach Prime was like putting the whistle around his neck. Now he at his Uncle Shedeur's game. So, Snow's going up right before our eyes, right? So I was like, I know the Sanders family is there somewhere. So there we go. We know Miss Pilar was there. We know Shalimar was there. We know Bucky was there. We know Coach Prime was there. Now we see DeAndre. We see Snow. We haven't seen Shiloh. So I don't know. Maybe he was around there somewhere. I don't know. But that would have been a good content for him to get, right? Because why? Because, he on that content track. So it would have been good for him to get that. And maybe he was there. We just don't know yet. So shout out to Snow. It's nice. The family showed up to support him, right? They just were in different parts of the stadium at the time when we saw him. But I just wanted to share this. DeAndre shared this. I just wanted to share this. They were at the game. So people said they believe, even with Snow being under the age of 2, because I don't think he's 2 yet, that they think that he knows that they're famous. I'm like, because he keeps seeing them on TV. So imagine seeing Uncle Shedeur on the big screen or out there on the field. Yeah, he knows. He knows. And no, he's not even 2 yet, I don't think. So shout out to DeAndre and shout out to Snow. He going up right before our eyes. So I just kind of wanted to share that moment. And before we get into this, I wanted to share, I had this post myself. And when you think about how good Shedeur is, even with being held back, but escaping the pitfalls that head coach Kevin Stefanski has set for him and his own damn veteran wide receivers, how many teams? 13 quarterbacks were drafted in the 2025 NFL draft. 13 teams passed on Shedeur Sanders repeatedly. Now, as good as this young man is, and people tried to tell him, because we already knew, I believe they knew too, and they chose to ignore it so he could be devalued. And I will tell you, as I was getting ready for this podcast, and I talked about it a little bit on the last one, there's one subject that's starting to emerge. In addition to 17 to 32, why they went extra hard in the paint to push Shedeur all the way down to 144, even though he was going to go undrafted. The goal to have Shedeur go undrafted was about money. To lock him out of the first round only was about 17 to 32. Everything else was money and cruelty and humiliation. So 2 things can be true, or 3 things can be true at the same time. They set out to humiliate him. They defamed him. Part of the humiliation, they devalued him, locked him out of the first round. The goal was for him to go undrafted so he wouldn't make that much money. The grown QB wanted to get his full pie, so he didn't hire an agent. Neither did Cam Ward. But what he ended up with is an uncooked Pop-Tart. So as we move further and further, and Stefanski's exposed, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman are exposed, let's see who gets exposed this week, right? Because there's a reason why Kevin Stefanski is still allowed to be the head coach of a team that he's just destroyed. They could have started with Shedeur and be in playoff contention. Maybe that's where they don't want to be. So if Shedeur is the starter, how would they not get there? Because right now they tied with the Bengals, 3-8. Yeah. So they could win this game and the Bengals fall to the bottom if they lose, and then they be in third place. And then they could play the Titans, and then they could play somebody else and move up. It could happen. But it could happen for $975,000 instead of 10 or 12 million. The grown QB wanted to get his full pie, but all he ended up with is a Pop-Tart. Now, most people would have never thought about it like that. And they said it was because he didn't hire an agent. But Cam Ward didn't either, and they didn't say nothing. So Shedeur's being transparent. Let's see what else he's saying. Because what it should tell you is a lot of people work to take down Shedeur. And when Shedeur said, a lot of people want me to fail, he's right. And guess what? They in the NFL. That's the thing. He didn't say that part. But a lot of people that want him to fail, it's not just the media. And I personally think when the media get off the clock, they don't even care. The media is a talking piece for everybody that wants him to fail. And the most interesting person that came out and spoke on behalf of Shedeur is also a mouthpiece for the NFL. And y'all know who it is. His name is Albert Breer. When he said, if I'm the Browns, I want to see more of Shedeur. And I said, this was about money. This was about money. Because if you know anything about Albert Breer, he ain't like Shedeur. And now all of a sudden, if I'm the NFL, I want to see more for less. If that ever comes together and comes out, man, they're going to be at the mercy of a lot of people that know. All right, here we go. Shedeur Sanders. Just think about if the truth, like we finally see Stefanski setting him up. We see Jerry Jeudy. Just think about if it truly comes out that they devalued him so he wouldn't make $46 million. And the plan was for him always to go to Cleveland and help them win for $975,000 instead of 10 or 12 million. Think about that. Because it's damn sure a possibility. All right. Here we go. Shedeur. All right, here we go. We're going to start right here because I was listening to it. So we're just going to start right here. Okay.
I'm here once again. How y'all doing? Chilling? Relaxing, thankful?
I'm just focused on his answers. About the answer.
Yeah. Has it changed? I'm not gonna lie, I felt very relaxed. Very relaxed. And half of that comes from preparing, studying, and knowing I got God on my side. So throughout all that, I had no worries. I didn't feel nervous or anything before the game because, like he took all my worries and everything away.
So he's talking about his faith is what got him this far. And on game night, he said he wasn't even nervous.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Coming up here before y'all, 6-7 months ago, I couldn't tell you I'll be here. God, the only way I'm able to even get through everything. Being able to see my family, that was important, and I'm happy that I was here to be able to witness it. But God, nothing possible, honestly, and I mean that truly and dearly. And everybody starts different places, and like I say, just because I didn't get the summer reps, just because I wasn't in the best situation, for me to be prepared to go out there and execute, like from a summer standpoint, That's how life is.
Transparency. That's transparency. That is transparency. He's telling you. He's telling you.
You know, everybody's not in the right. Not everybody's not in the best situation. You know, but it's no excuse. You got to go out there and perform. Like, there's no choice, there's no question. Nobody cares if this was 1 week of prep. Who cares? You know, so a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen. You know, it ain't gonna happen.
So he's telling you he wasn't in the best situation, but hey, who cares?
Yeah.
He still got to go out here and show and prove.
I learned a lot mentally. I feel like I'm able to understand more. I feel like I'm able to. And the thing was, I was always great at understanding perspectives and stuff, because you got to really take a deep dive at how we grew up. Like, when we grew up, my dad had us in a 30,000 square foot home. Then after that, he took us to go play ball in the inner city. You know, after that, we transferred and he moved us across town because he wanted us to get that dog in us, you know, to have that mentality, to have that it factor in us. So then we went to charter schools. And I don't know if you're familiar with charter schools, and like, you know, it's not the best, but you know, you got a lot of different people from different situations that you got to be able to adapt to. So that's where all those core different things of being able to relate, being able to understand. But now, since I went through everything the past 6 months, it led me to a whole different understanding, you know, and it led me in my own experience with God, with having faith, you know, when nobody else can help you in your situation, you know, but God, you know. So that's why I'm truly thankful and I'm truly happy. And I this is the first time I was never had stress, you know. I did the work. I did everything I can in my power I was able to do. So the rest was left up to him.
So
yeah.
So Coach Prime put them in different
for sure. I
socioeconomic
feel like
environments.
They respect the way I go about my business, you know, and being a backup and everything. Sometimes you have to compromise your personality and change the way how you do things, you know, to never step on anybody's toes. So the fact that I got an opportunity and I was able to show the organization, show everybody who I really am, then that was truly exciting. So, you know, I was off balance for a little bit, you know, past couple months of my life, but it was different. But I'm thankful, you know, to be back where I am. I would say getting thrown into the Ravens game. I say that's what it is. As soon as we got that last drive, I said, "Oh yeah, this how they play." Then
The last drive.
Right. It's different when you watch it from the sideline. Like, everybody could analyze, everybody could say everything from sideline. You could watch TV, everything. You could talk on TV, whatever you want to do. But until you get out there and you do it, then it's different. Going out there, you know, with, you know, only practice with $100 and everything, like, that's different. You know, it's a lot of vet quarterbacks, you know, that had their time and everything that were backups and was able to get thrown in the game and be all right. But I don't think that was like that in their rookie year. That's a difference, you know?
So what he's saying is, you know, a veteran getting thrown out there is one thing. Like Flacco getting back out there, he a vet. He already have the experience. But for a rookie to be thrown into the fire and not be selected as the guy, and he's better at the guy, and he didn't get no prep. His first few drives was trying to figure out who he was playing ball with because he was kept away from those people. He was given defensive first team reps, but they intentionally kept him away from QB1. Stefanski intentionally kept Shedeur away to the point he wouldn't even let him get 2 reps per game to get ready. And that should explain to you how Stefanski did not want Shedeur out here as QB1 at all. And if you do, you're not going to look good. And if you got to be out here for a whole game, I'm going to set you up. Stefanski has set Shedeur up every step of the way, including the Panthers game with the play calling. Also having him to get sacked. Yeah, that's what he did. And then the Rams game. The Rams game was pivotal because why? That's the game they used to devalue Shedeur behind Dylan. because Shedeur already looked good with the Panthers. And they kept saying yards. If Shedeur keep getting sacked, his yards are going to be less than somebody else that they keep propping up and the defense going easier on. And they know that. That's what they were counting on for Dylan. Dylan plays against 3s and 4s a lot of the times. Shedeur actually played against first team defenses. Thankfully, he had first team reps. Thankfully, he know how to read defenses. And that's one of the lies they told. He don't know how to read defenses. That is insane with the way this kid throws his receivers open. And they said, damn, he too advanced for $54 million Jerry Jeudy. That was in the Ravens game. That was an excuse for Jerry Jeudy to stop running his route in the Ravens game. So when you start Jerry Jeudy, stop running his route. Before Shedeur got the ball to him, people justified it with, oh, lack of first team reps. Okay. What the hell justification is there for what happened? Him to stop running his route after catching the ball in the Raiders game. None. He just didn't want to help Shedeur get a passing touchdown. That's what that was. So Shedeur is being transparent here, and it's good because a lot has transpired, like he said, in 6 months.
That's different, and I'm thankful for that experience because that helped me get to where I am today. That helped me go into the game very comfortable, knowing that they got a great defense with the Ravens, knowing the different looks, how they could be confusing to the naked eye. But that's why during the game I was smiling so much because I'm like, oh yeah, if this what it is, I know I'm gonna be able to accept that challenge and move forward one day and be able to have success. So that's the mentality I went with going and prepping for this week. We know they got a dog on the D lineman. We know about Max Crosby. We know about that. But, I fear no man, The only thing I fear is God. Oh no, we definitely had a game plan for him. He's a great player overall, and he let his presence be known. And going and just reflecting. I'm in a moment right now, so we don't truly understand, how everything was, because when you're in the moment, you can't see full view of everything. So I'm thankful for it. Going against them, going against like all those great defensive legends over there, it was truly amazing. But when you get out there, you just gotta not care and just be like, it is what it is, bro.
Now it shows you. You could tell when he's talking how much fun he has playing football. For Shedeur, it was never about the money. Should he have been robbed of $46 million as number 2 overall? No. And pigeonholed to be an undrafted free agent for cheap? No. But allowed to compete against QB1s, 2s, and 3s who could get reps, but he can't? No. To be underdeveloped? No. No, absolutely not. And if Kevin Stefanski is going to do all of that, who would trust him with being Shedeur's head coach? Now that Shedeur has obtained what Kevin Stefanski worked so hard to keep his Shedeur away from QB1. Valid question at this point.
You know what I mean? That's the mentality you have to have.
There's a lot of people talking at one time.
Oh, we gotta get him to. We got him. Mm-hmm.
That make you feel any kind of way? I mean, I know you came in with confidence, but could you take us through that play? Just how it made you feel making that play?
I would say you. The thing is, I visualized everything during the week. The game was already played, so that's why I have confidence. That's why I'm able to talk how I talk, walk how I walk. Do what I'm able to do because the game was already mentally played already before we was out there. Then when you get out there, you confirm, what you watch, everything. And, then you got the guys in the right spots when you need them in the right spots for different situations. Then you're able to capitalize off them. So, like I said, it comes down to I'm thankful for the coaches, putting everybody in the spots. I'm thankful for the old linemen being able to take me under their wing, and be able to grow and build with them. And I'm thankful for the team, having my back throughout this whole period.
That's good. That's really good, right? That's really good. So we shouldn't have no problem with O-linemen. We shouldn't have a lot of problems next week. Let's see what happened with the receivers.
Yeah, all the rookies is extremely special. We go with a term, but I can't say the term on here though. We have a term though. It's called young. You know what I'm saying?
They call themselves YNs.
but we definitely want to come in and create change, and we have those conversations. We talk, about what we got to do, and be proactive, not reactive. We got to bring the energy sometimes, and not saying the vets don't, but it's just on the offensive side of the ball we struggle sometimes. So we need somebody to be that match. We need somebody to be that light. So I'm thankful that we got all the different type of duos over there, all the different key players on the offensive side of the ball, and it's some hungry dogs that's still out there that ain't been a part of the travel squad yet.
Did you hear what he said? There's some hungry dogs out there that have not been part of the travel squad. So everybody don't travel. So Deshaun getting to travel was special because he's injured. So for him to make the travel team, it was good. People asked what's Dylan. We didn't see him. He didn't make the travel squad. Carson, we saw the other guy, Bailey Zappi. He made the travel squad, right? And it's some other receivers he say they did make the travel squad. So this is huge, right? So he's already bonded with these guys. And to be honest, between it being a money thing, and I think as it gets closer and closer that, the Browns have done some things, some impropriety against Shedeur, putting him in situations. And yeah, it all rests at Haslam's feet. But what Stefanski has been doing to hold back Shedeur, don't be surprised if, even though he bonded with these guys, he could be there next year. He could be the guy. Don't be surprised if he get traded. But now he better be traded as a QB1. And understand, every game that Kevin Stefanski is the head coach of, his only mission at this point, not to redeem himself, to use these last games that Shedeur gonna play and make sure he can't be traded as a QB1. Unavailable due to injury or illness or poor performance. So just like you could look at this game, like the Panthers game, he did well and everybody's excited. But he played the Panthers and people were discounting them anyway. And aren't they discounting? Oh, it's just the Raiders. Well, Dylan lost to the damn Jets. So it's always like Attorney Ben Crump said, when it's black excellence, they keep moving the goalposts. So now the Raiders should be a little tougher, but they second to last in a division. I think they might be playing tonight against the Panthers. This would be a game that we're expected to lose. Shedeur, the Browns are expected to lose by 6.5 points. They're the underdog. Last week, it was 3.5. So that means Vegas think it is more complicated for Shedeur and the Browns to get the win. Now, they second to last in a division. If Shedeur was allowed to be the leader of this team and lead this team to victory, and the game plan was called for Shedeur's skill set and not Wildcats to keep Shedeur from balling out and getting touchdowns, you never know. It could be closer or they could win. But I don't think that's the goal. Just because we happy that you look good, you're outproducing your draft stock. And that's something Kevin Stefanski tried to stop, which is crazy because that hurts the team overall. Told us keeping the team struggling with Dylan. So Kevin Stefanski was trying to hold back this young man's, reduce his draft stock, Shedeur. It also suppress the team, creating havoc in the locker room. It was better to intimidate, retaliate, hold back, discriminate than it was to win, than it was to build harmony, than it was to strategize to get to the playoffs. And if Kevin Stefanski is allowed to still do those things, it's time to start looking beyond Kevin Stefanski. It's time to start looking at who's covering for Kevin Stefanski and allowing him to continue to do damage. No different than the New York Giants fumbling Saquon Barkley, letting him go over to Philly and they win like that. Keeping that ball around, keeping the GM around, and look at the liability they created in the draft, trying to humiliate Shedeur, getting busted. The NFL itself, the New York Giants itself, that ball finally being fired. The same thing is going to happen to Cleveland. And when they get their white quarterback that they don't want Shedeur because he's not white, didn't the New York Giants get Jackson Dart? Didn't they get what they wanted? Didn't they succeed at making Shedeur seem undesirable so they didn't have to get him and justify it to their fan base? Didn't they try to push Russell Wilson out the damn way? They got what they wanted. They got Jackson Dart. That's who they wanted. That's why he snuck in the damn first round and went second instead of Shedeur. We don't want you. We don't value you. And look at what's happening to that organization right the hell now. Not only did they end up with a black quarterback, they ended up with two. And when they benched Russell Wilson and put Jackson Dart in, that didn't work out because he was heavily dependent on Cam Scatterboo and Malik Neighbors. And injuries proved that. Then they had to go back to Jameis Winston. And guess what? When they were about to tie up a game or win, his own receiver stopped running his route. You see? That's the tactic. And Jameis was like, whatever. He was like working so hard. And his receiver stopped running his route. Sure did. And then I think they might have won this week. People saying Jameis Winston is a QB1. Amazingly, how he was in Cleveland. And he was QB1 for them. So much so that Jerry Jeudy got a $54 million contract. Extended through 2027. And Jameis Winston got demoted. And through injury, God reversed the plan. And Jameis Winston looked like the QB1. And now people see he got a real opportunity. He should be QB1 on another team. Remember, I told you they got all these black quarterbacks in whatever division that is, that New York and the Cowboys and Washington and Philly are in. They got all them black quarterbacks stacked up. And when they get the opportunity to play, people say what they said about Jacoby Brissett in Arizona in another division. He should be a QB1. See, the truth is coming out. And it took Shedeur to come into the league with 6 million fans that have grown to about 8 to 10 million. And when you take indirect support, meaning non-NFL fans, you got the likes of Ben Crump and other people speaking up, calling out what happens to black people when they find themselves in white spaces. We 10 million strong and counting. And then when you throw in the people watching the game in Africa, the biggest continent on the goddamn planet, watching Shedeur play at 1 o'clock, then that's the global audience. That's just a reflection of the global audience. They can't win. The NFL can't win. And then you put 47 coming through, you can't cut him at all. So you're going to have to use these next few games to take him down so we can devalue him, because we don't want him traded to another team as QB1. And if Shedeur passes, they just going to hurt another black quarterback. They're not going to stop. Julian Johnson Law. Black people underestimate just how long racists are willing to go. Jim Crow. That's it. So Shedeur is that guy, right? The first thing he did after the game was saying, thank you, God, right? And, you know, people had the audacity, and I think I just thought blocking. I'm like, I'm not even entertaining this. I didn't entertain it with a response. Oh, this is why people don't like Shedeur, because they didn't like his answers at his press conference, or they didn't like. I'm like, you know what? Shut up. I don't even entertain that, because they just straight hate. I'm not even worried about that. My point is, Kevin Stefanski fired. This is about accountability. This is about Shedeur's safety and his health and his welfare and everything else. Because what did Julian Johnson Law say? Black people underestimate just how far they're willing to go. And when you saw Jerry Jeudy put his arm around Shedeur, when you saw Stefanski, knowing he was on camera, cozying up to Shedeur, but went into the locker room and totally disrespected him, you can't trust that. You can't trust his health, his safety, and his well-being with somebody like that. So shout out to Shedeur. I told y'all there was a post that came out, and I found the internet pointed to it. Now, this is not the post I was talking about, but it said the same thing. The post I saw was on Instagram. It was a small post, but it said the same thing. Somebody right after the draft came out and said Kevin Stefanski does not want Shedeur Sanders on the team. This is the longer version. All right, this is May 1st. It said Kevin Stefanski wanted no part of that. talking about what? Shedeur Sanders being drafted and coming to Cleveland. It said ex-NFL scout said Browns owner intervened to draft Shedeur Sanders, just like the Browns owner intervened to have Shedeur Sanders be QB1 at the behest of whom? 47. All right. A former NFL scout has stirred controversy alleging Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam intervened to draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL draft, despite head coach Kevin Stefanski's reluctance. Now, what did Kevin Stefanski say to Shedeur? God works in mysterious ways. What is somebody saying behind the scenes? Kevin Stefanski really didn't want Shedeur. So if you really didn't want Shedeur and you was just going along with it, and you know that they pivoted to Dillon because they didn't want Shedeur, and I don't know how the hell you pivot from Shedeur overall to undrafted free agent Dillon, other than he went to the Manning Passing Academy. And the Mannings is the reason Jackson Dart is in New York. So see all these people working to block Shedeur. You see all of this? So understand, there's truth to this because I saw it in more than one place. It said Kevin wanted no part of that, suggesting Haslam overruled the coaching staff and the GM, Andrew Berry. So there you go. It wasn't Berry's idea either. It said who appeared subdued in the draft room footage. No part of that. It said reports indicate Haslam's influence sparked internal tension with Berry and Stefanski, offering only polite clapping when Sanders was selected number 144 per Pro Football Talk. It said Sanders, a polarizing prospect due to his pre-draft interviews, which they lied about, joins a crowded quarterback room with Dillon Gabriel, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett. It said the scout warned that Haslam's history of meddling could jeopardize the team's strategy. And what the hell is that? The team strategy. Browns fans now question if Sanders can thrive amid this reported discord. So you see how I wrote the perspective that it was Haslam's idea, and either they didn't know or like others, they conveniently left out 47, which is why he came right on back. Just in case you was confused, here I am. Here I am. Now, they were forced to take him, and you've seen how they have treated him. We don't want you. We don't value you from the organization itself. And then from Stefanski, you're not worthy. You're not worthy. They all liars. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. Berry was happy because Shedeur outproduced his draft stock in that Raiders game alone. And seemingly Kevin Stefanski was working against that. There's that discord. I didn't want him here, so I'm just going to damage his draft stock. And then do what? He just must want him kicked out the league. Because you would think if Stefanski didn't want Shedeur in Cleveland, he would do whatever, let him get out here and play so he could get traded. No, he wanted him destroyed. Why? Because he doesn't think he's worthy because he's a young black quarterback, a starter, elite talent. He doesn't think he's worthy. Just look at his history with black quarterbacks, including Jameis Winston, including Deshaun Watson. That's why it was an affront to Kevin Stefanski for people to report that Berry brought in Deshaun. You heard it. There's a travel team. He made it. He injured. They won't even let him practice. But Berry wanted him there. And Berry wanted him to work with Shedeur. And people say it paid off. So Berry looked like he getting his way. And Stefanski is not getting his. But both times, there was somebody there that people refused to talk about. And he rolled back up today to just let you know. And now Shedeur is a starter. And people are pushing for Shedeur to be the starter for the rest of the season. And there goes that conversation. You turn the S into a dollar sign. Devalued for the money. Because I did win the battle of 17-32 in the 2025 draft. And I'm winning it in the season. So you can get on out here and play. But are we going to trade you as a QB1 these next few games? If Stefanski has not been fired, stay tuned. Because they're going to use these next 2 games to devalue him. They're not playing. So that's the post that I have been telling y'all about. The one I saw was not nearly as long as that one. But it was the same message because Stefanski don't want that. So see, he had been running around, running his mouth, and he was already being fake with Shedeur with the draft phone call that we listened to earlier today. We revisited the draft phone call. Hey, buddy. And you notice Shedeur called him coach. Now, at the combine, I heard Shedeur refer to somebody as coach. I think it was Stefanski because at the combine, right after that, they were saying Shedeur was going number 2. They can say with certainty, Adam Schefter, with certainty that Shedeur is going number 2 to Cleveland. That was at the combine. And then they made it to Colorado. So from February, from the Shrine Bowl in January, all the way to April 4th or 5th, it was Shedeur Sanders. And then suddenly it was Dylan Gabriel. The only thing that I know about Dylan Gabriel, other than he was not a Haslam candidate like that, he was an undrafted free agent. He went to the Manning Passing Academy. And I have told y'all, the Mannings have influence over 3 teams that are involved in this situation. The Saints, the Giants, and the Browns. Because that's where the little nephew, Cuzzo, was going. And probably still going. So it's like they was trying to hurt Shedeur. What did you hear Shedeur say? The organization had to learn who I was. So that leads me to believe that he believed what was happening to him was because of his dad. That he's not his dad. That he's his own man. I don't think 17-32 got nothing to do with Coach Prime. Because of all the quarterbacks that is happening to right now. He's not their daddy. But they sticking with the lie. That's one thing I've noticed about them. If they tell a lie and they get busted, they don't clean it up. Giving out Shedeur Sanders' phone number, who actually made the prank call. The interviews, what was said about Shedeur. The defamation, they don't clean up nothing. That's Haslam grandkids? No, it wasn't. They don't clean up nothing. Still waiting to find out why Bucky wasn't there. So Bucky was there before the robbery. He was after the robbery, but he wasn't there during the robbery. They sure were checking out his face on that video, though. So let me see what y'all saying. So Shedeur's journey has been made extra difficult, an unjust difficulty placed on him, a burden placed on him by his own head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who should have already been fired. Ample opportunity for the Browns to fire him. Between Callahan, Daboll, and Chip Kelly, it's just a reminder, you need to fire him. So they're going to leave him in place to do more damage. And now Shedeur is starting next week. And the fact that they won't commit long term tells you it opens the door for Stefanski to meddle, to put Shedeur in a position where he doesn't look good, so he can't escape. I promise you, he over there watching film to figure out who I'm going to get and how I'm going to stop him against the 49ers. The question is, are they going to recruit somebody for the 49ers? Or somebody else going to come land on his legs? Is he going to hit again and the ref's not going to call roughing the passer? Are they going to try to get him hurt? That's what I'm asking you. I done tried everything else. The last thing is to get him hurt so he can't be available. Let's see what happened. Hey, Gail, how you doing? How you doing? It said the Raiders made more money from Shedeur than all season. What? Why? A lot of people not going to their games? Because they, 2-8? It said, what's up? What she said? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey there, everybody. It said 49ers defense will be a challenge. He will need his tight ends more Sunday. Okay. Hit the like button for me, guys. There are 200 of us. Please hit the like button and take a moment to subscribe to What She Said Sports. I am almost to 5,700. Try to get to 7,000 by Christmas. At least I think that's where I'm at. All right. So here we go. It said because the Cleveland Browns team been sabotaging Shedeur ever since they drafted them. Anybody with common sense that has eyes can see it, right? And the only people that are denial about it are people either don't know football or they know what's going on and they want it to continue, so they don't want to hold Stefanski accountable. Hint, hint. It said, yes, he should have been fired. Totally agree. It said, no, they need to fire that coach. It said they need a whole new system to go around 12 to actually play with in football. It said the Cleveland Browns are losers, right? And here's the thing, they don't want to win with Shedeur. The Falcons don't want to win with Michael Penix Jr. Why do you think they went and got Kirk Cousins? Why do you think it is? 3 quarterbacks from Miami, Minnesota were dispersed into positions where black quarterbacks were. Michael Penix Jr. was a first-round draft pick. They got Kirk Cousins. Now, Michael Penix Jr. is injured after the same setup type of situation coming from the offensive coordinator. But that was Stefanski in Cleveland. Geno Smith, he had a good season over there with the Seahawks. The same season that Sam Darnold had. So they sent Sam Darnold and dispatched him to take Geno Smith's job. And Geno Smith went to Vegas to block Shedeur. So they drafted Ashton Jeanty in the first round instead of Shedeur. But they only gave Ashton Jeanty 7 carries against Dallas. How many did he get against the Raiders? He was already surpassed that when we saw it early on, when we looked during the game. So you paid Ashton Jeanty all that money. You're going to give him how many carries versus the Cowboys? Oh, you want the Cowboys to win. Yeah. And then there's Daniel Jones, 6 years to fail. He gets parked over there in Minnesota, and they put him in Anthony Richardson place. Understand? They got Anthony Richardson hurt, his own O-line. Yes, they did. They messed up his hand. Yes, they did. And then guess who got in there? Daniel Jones. And they incentivized, paid Daniel Jones to win. They thought the money would be motivation. Anthony Richardson injured. Michael Penix Jr. injured. Geno Smith not injured. Sacked 10 times, though, last night. And they had the audacity to put together a video, the Cleveland Browns did, of Geno Smith being sacked 10 times and said, here, it's for your pleasure. If that was Josh Allen, would they do that? So they couldn't get him hurt yet, but they working on it. 10 sacks, and they're going to fire Chip Kelly. So if he was injured from all of that, it would be Geno Smith injured, Michael Penix Jr. injured, and Anthony Richardson. So maybe they see Geno Smith as tough, so they just going to keep trying because they're not going to give up. And they can't keep Shedeur down. So what you think they're going to do? Look for the play. Injury. Look for the play. Because that's what they do if the fans got something to say. Oh, well, if you injured, the fans can't say nothing, huh? You better look for the play. How many games they got left to look for the play? Look for the play. Look for it, because that's what it is. And I'm telling you that's what it is. I've been watching it happen to other people. You saw what happened if you watched the Cowboys and the Eagles. It said Jim Brown, all-time leader in rushing yards, 12,312 rushing yards, 106 all-purpose yards, 15,459 played for the Cleveland Browns. It said linemen told opposing teams Linemen told opposing teams to play when he ran hard to beat his team and the opponent. Okay, I need to try that one more time. Jim Brown, all time. Thank you. The Ghost OG J Speed. Okay, it said Jim Brown, an all-time leader in rushing yards. Cleveland played for Cleveland Browns. Linemen told opposing teams to play. So the linemen leaked the play to the opposing team when he ran hard. So that they could beat the team Jim Brown was on and the opponent. I mean, is that any different than the Ravens? Is that any different than the Ravens defense taking it easy on Dillon, but trying to knock Shedeur block off? And you think I'm kidding about the injury part? The injury is the go-to when I can't bench you because fans gonna not show up. The injury is the go-to. If I need you out the way to exact my plan, and I can't just bench you because they're gonna burn down Mercedes-Benz or the Cleveland fans not gonna show up. If you injured, what the hell they gonna do? They stacked Geno Smith 10 times. Why they ain't put that backup in? Where was Kenny Pickett at? Why they didn't make adjustments to Kenny Pickett? Y'all ever wondered about that? Why not? If he ain't getting it done and y'all say he trash, then put Kenny Pickett's ass in. Excuse my language. Why not put Kenny Pickett in? Why let that man get sacked 10 times? Because we're trying to hurt you. That's why. So we're being told about Jim Brown. Again, Jim Brown was associated with Cleveland. I just told you a little bit about Jameis Winston. You see what's going on with Shedeur. I already told you about Tyrod Taylor, and you know what happened to RG3. All them played for Cleveland. And Odell Beckham Jr. said, and he's not even a quarterback, that New York said they couldn't find nowhere else for him to go. So they sent him to Cleveland, and he told you so his career could die. Now they need a receiver. And after what Jerry Jeudy did, they should have terminated Jerry Jeudy and called up Odell Beckham Jr. Let's see if Jerry Jeudy starts the game next week. Let's see if he's back on the field, because he should be. Any self-respecting coach that was trying to win would not put him back out there in Tillman either, especially when there are other people that haven't made the travel team. Leave Jerry Jeudy and Tillman at home. They clearly didn't want to get no yards. Maybe they got enough yards for the year. Maybe they're not worried about their incentives because maybe they're going to get their guarantees, or maybe they're going to get their incentives as a bonus. But they didn't do that shit for free. Understand that. They didn't do it for a feel-good sensation. Thank you, OG. I appreciate it. It says he's saying how you doing, haters? It said it's Christmas in Cleveland and the shelter and Shedeur. I was gonna say what? And Shedeur is Santa Claus. Facts. They hate it when players speak out about God. I was thinking about that too. That's actually true. Yesterday's prices are not tomorrow's prices. 12 prices gonna go up right now. Yep, sure facts. His price is already up. It just points to he should have been a first-round overall pick. Notice how his playmakers are his fellow hungry dogs. It said the starters are on foolishness. Now here's the thing, right? Why is that? Why the starters, except for my own defense? The defense, they some dogs. But why is that on offense? Why is it like that? Right? Is it because they saw these young guys bonding and balling out and they feel threatened? How you feel threatened? They paying you $54 million. So you have to ask yourself, what the hell is wrong with you? Right? And as far as I can see, Shedeur's always been nice to Jerry Jeudy. So that locker room over there is in shambles. It said they grew up. They grew up in the hood. Oh, okay. So when you say he moved them across town. It said, yep, he's talking about all of the media who were saying this week he has to play good or that's it for his career. It said, who cares about reps? He don't even need them, right? And what did we say? He don't need them. He just had to get to know who the players were. So it wasn't about the reps for Shedeur. It was about the chemistry with the players. It said Cleveland is Shedeur City now. I agree, because I don't think they're going to go back to Dinkin and Duncan. And if they get somebody and they move Shedeur out and Shedeur go be successful somewhere else, and he is. I heard somebody say, one of the announcers, he going to have a nice career in NFL. For the people that thought he wasn't, they better think again. It said keyword getting thrown into the Ravens game. Yep, he got thrown into the Ravens game. Transparency. It's because if he didn't know, so you didn't prepare me and you didn't give me a heads up until we walking out the tunnel. Thrown into. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Is that Isaiah? How you doing? It says praying for Shiloh too. It seems uncharacteristic for him not to be at the game. That's true. So yeah, we hope he's doing good. Stefanski trying to throw him to the wolves. Facts. And the damn Denver defense show was on the tape when it came to Dylan, and they definitely tried to get Shedeur. If y'all saw that play where they hit Shedeur and his head did like that and he fell, and then in the Ravens game, I want you to look at all of the what they call it, roughing the passer, and only one was called, and the big dude fell on Shedeur's legs. They trying to get him hurt. I'm telling you. That's the only way they feel like they could get rid of him. They already did it to Penix. They already did it to Jada Daniels. It said, think of all the money the Browns lost for sitting him 11 games. I mean, the gate receipts. Yep, they make 110 million on the gates. That's facts. Intelligent young man and wise. That is the grown factor CP talks about, right? And as far as we know, Shedeur has never been injured like that, right? We know why he have back tightness. Why? Because his old lineman was setting him up and letting him get teed off on. Well, they know they can't do that over here. So they got to move to something else. And that's where this game, Jerry Jeudy and Tillman comes in. So what they going to do on the next game? You already saw the Ravens defense try to knock his block off. So either the 49ers defense going to knock his block off or some weird ass is going to take place. One thing they know about these quarterbacks, especially dual threat quarterbacks or people like Shedeur, who going to make something happen, they going to make something happen. They're going to try to make something happen. And Shedeur got away from what was supposed to be a coverage set. And they're going to try to work to find something to exploit. But I want you to understand, even with everybody looking and the same play happening around the league and everything happening to black quarterbacks, they still going to feel like the only way to get rid of him. Because they can't run him out of town after he got robbed. He wasn't frazzled. He wasn't even worried about that. He said it. My house got robbed. I'm good. Just like, whatever. He said he wasn't nervous. So they plotting. How do we get rid of this kid? Take him out. Make him unavailable. I'm like, you sure you want to go back to Dylan? What you going to say? Well, Shedeur got injured. We didn't want to go with Dylan, but that's what we got. Oh, I know what you're going to do. You're not going back to Dylan. You going to Bailey Zapp. Remember I told y'all they said that Bailey Zapp is officially the backup. I'm like, how the hell you know who your backup is and you don't know who your starter is? Let's see what happens. So I hope he know to look for the play. Look for them to injure him and get the hell on. Throw that damn ball away. Do what you got to do. Shedeur has mastered the art of double talking. Absolutely. Absolutely. 12 would show the world what black excellence is about. Yep. And he sure is. And he teaching all of us. Just wait on God. The situation seemed impossible. Just keep waiting. It said, what father wouldn't be proud to have a son like Shedeur? You got to love this young man. Totally agree. Totally agree. And they want him to distance himself from his father because they want supreme control of the black talent so they could make it do what they want to make them do. Get the hell out of here. This football. If you don't take it seriously and you over there digging in the dirt and working on wells and stuff, why the hell is it that this got to be my breakfast, lunch, and dinner? No, it don't. But it's true. When they start talking about God, they don't like that. They don't like that at all. But too bad. It said one could say that about Jesus Christ. Sounds like the double talk to the foolish. Yep, that's true. That's true. It said they were holding G on to every word. They were doing what? Holding on to his every word. Facts. Totally agree. It said his dad taught him well. Yes. Drop Jeudy, play the Hungry Dogs. Right. Play the Hungry Dogs. Let them come on out here. And again, this goes back to what's his name? Tommy Reese. This goes back to Tommy Reese saying that Shedeur is going to be playing a lot with people, the rookies that he came in with, and the ones he played with in the spring. And I said, that's weird, unless they don't trust Jerry Jeudy. I'm thinking they didn't trust Jerry Jeudy. And I'm thinking after Jerry Jeudy got upset, that Stefanski overruled that. And that's why Jerry Jeudy wasn't taken out the game. But Shedeur said to school with that, I'm throwing the hell at Junior. They're going to try to, trust me. They're trying to figure out something. I'm just telling you. And you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And it keeps happening on third downs. See, that's a pattern. Everybody know to look for the third downs. Everybody know on the first and second drive, they're going to run the ball. Everybody knows that. Colorado, right? Pat Schumer. Predictability. That's what happened to Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. The OC got real predictable. And then when that wasn't enough, when the fans barked and said, Michael Penix is our quarterback, we sticking with Michael Penix Jr., he got hurt. And now it's Kirk Cousins. So they got their way at the end of the day through injury. Tyrod Taylor, same thing. Imagine what Shedeur has been going through. His faith kept him straight, and his dad. It says Stefanski was messing with his own QB by taking him out. Right. And that's sick. It said 2 times around the end zone. Yep. I mean, there's nothing you know, he ain't gonna let it show. But everybody's upset about that, and they see what Stefanski's doing. They're like, he's still sabotaging him. You're right. He just finding different ways to do it. And the San Francisco game is not going to be any different if Stefanski still works there. He need to be fired. Like, just totally fired. And the fact that they won't fire him, to me, they support what Stefanski is doing. We got to play you. We don't have to protect for you. We don't have to let you win. We don't have to challenge calls to see if you got a touchdown. We don't. We don't have to challenge the refs who are letting people rough the passer with no penalties. We just gonna let all of it fly because we ourselves are happy about it because we're trying to take you out the game. Look for the play against the 49ers. Look for it. Look for the opportunity to try to injure him. Look for it. It said, but God has the final say so. I fully believe that God will block all hurt and harm from two. I sure hope so too. It said, Shedeur Mania has officially begun. Yep. Not in a negative way. Nope, not in a negative way. It said 49ers played the Panthers tonight, and the score was 20-9. The 49ers won. Yep. And you tell me how the Saints, when they first played Tyler Shaw, beat the damn Panthers, or the Panthers beat somebody else. And I was like, okay, all these games rigged like this. And just look what a black quarterback is. If you were better, just look. They don't want the black quarterback to win. And then when it's black quarterbacks, that whole game between the Eagles and the Cowboys was crazy. When we were watching, we were live. What was it, 21-0 for the Eagles? And by the time we finished, I think the Cowboys won 24-21 or something crazy. I was like, what the hell happened here? They do not want Jalen Hurts to get back to the Super Bowl. Third time in 5 years. I'm just saying, guys. It said the Giants coughed up the win in overtime. With Jameis Winston as the starter, it said, like he's calling out the people behind the scams, including Kevin. Facts. It said, yep, just got what they asked for. That's facts. It said Jim Crow is alive and well. Absolutely. And it's about time we as a people start to study that, because a lot of us weren't around during that era. You got to understand something here. And if you're not from the Deep Fried South, and if you are and you just really don't know, understand something. This is irrational behavior. And they believe it wholeheartedly. If they didn't even want to use the same bathroom as you, if they said you weren't a whole human being, you were only 3/5 of a human being, and they mad when slavery ended, and they mad when civil rights happened, and they struck to move affirmative action, and they got rid of DEI, which only helped 4% of black people. But the point is, and they moving to make it harder to get advanced degrees, that black women, 71% of them, 71% of advanced degrees are black women. And then the high paying jobs, they trying to move all the black people out of, whether it's the military or corporate America, something the NFL is a part of. And y'all think they want these black quarterbacks with these high paying jobs and all the power and influence in the most important position on the team? No. Project 2025, all the way around. And that's what people don't understand. So this is why 47 keep popping on up. And people like, okay, this getting a little weird here, because you would think, but what did he say? I told you so. And then people talk about why he keeps saying they got great genes, because that's how he feel. That's how he feel. That's what he think. It said 49ers are a much tougher opponent. I hope Sanders studies the defense well. Of course he will. Of course he will. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem if Shedeur go out here and it's a fair and square game and everybody want to try to win. But that's not what's been happening. That's not what's been happening. Stefanski has been intentionally making Shedeur's role tougher from the moment he got there, because he never wanted him there. He pretended, just like you saw him on the camera talking to Shedeur so he can get the photo out, so he can redeem his reputation. He pretended. It's funny how he don't want to be deemed as racist, or maybe he don't care about being racist, but he care about people saying he don't like Shedeur. He care about something, because he showed faking it. And he feel like he could get away with it because Shedeur not going to pop off on him. Shedeur should not pop off on him. And look what happened today. Shedeur's a starter. They say Haslam meddling. It ain't Haslam. It's not Haslam. Somebody, it's going to change the Browns strategy. Who the hell knew what the Browns strategy was at draft time? Because what kind of strategy would you really have it with Kenny Pickett, Flacco, and Dylan? You didn't get no O-linemen and you didn't get no receivers, but you got 2 running backs. So you was going to use whoever the quarterback was to just hand off the ball as a game manager. Flacco was going to get what? The first part. Kenny Pickett was just going to be there just in case Dylan got knocked out. And then we'll put Kenny Pickett into the end. They don't want to use Deshaun and they don't want to use Shedeur. What people should be asking themselves, how Deshaun really got injured? I know I saw it. They said it was a non-contact injury. But if you keep falling on somebody enough, isn't that eventually the part of your body going to get injured? And then Stefanski took off of his headset and turned it over to Ken Dorsey, who they fired. Why he wait till after Deshaun was injured to turn over his headset? Why was Jameis Winston devalued and now he over there winning? And yeah, his wide receiver, go watch the game from last week. Start running his route. So these guys know what to do to set up their own quarterback. Let's see how many Jerry Judys would set up a white quarterback like that. You think he would do it? J.J. McCarthy. Yep. He's still over there. It said now they're trying to say Kevin was working with Shedeur behind the scenes. Like how? Because they don't want to admit that it's a bad look, right? Kevin Stefanski is a liability. And it's a bad look for Haslam for Stefanski's reputation to be trash. And he keep him employed. And he clearly wants to keep him employed because he do good work for us. I don't know. All I see is him holding back Shedeur. That's what I see. So is that the work you talking about? Apparently so. So it said he was getting 0 reps. Everything Shedeur is doing is from his own self-development. Right. Because they don't want to fire Haslam. They need to fire him. They don't want to fire Stefanski. This is why they ain't fired him yet. They don't want to fire him. It said 67, but listen to real lyrics. It said, again, as Mo3 said, everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner. Everybody ain't no real. It said, if I say I got you, I got you. It say, oh, Judy's a sellout, acting suspect. Yep, straight fraud. Buster. Bomb buster. That's what I say. Bomb AZZ buster. It says Samson won't be out there till Dylan comes in. Yep, that's what I said. I say everybody that Pat Schumer, anything that's working, I'ma shut it down. And I'm only put Jerry Jeudy and them out here. So Shedeur gonna have to run them touchdowns in himself. He gonna have to get them to the goal line and get them down there, and he gonna have to just do it himself. They're not even thinking about that. So you right about that, JG. You right about that. It say all skin folk ain't kin folk, but you just have to look at Jeudy and tell what type of person he is. I mean, I didn't think, I was shocked. I really was. I mean, I ain't shocked by nothing, but I didn't see that. Shedeur is 6'2". Yes, he is 6'2". Shedeur raised his hand, shook his head to, I'm sure, thank God, because he knew nobody but God. Facts. It says Shedeur going to pick them 49ers apart. That team getting ready to go against Stefanski. That's hilarious. Okay. Stefanski wanted Dylan Gabriel because both of them and the evil coach had Oregon football team have the same sport agent. It could be. It said 47 standing 10 toes down on Shedeur Sanders. Facts. Facts. And that's a surprise to them. They were like, damn, he back? God damn. It said, check out what Eric Dickerson said about the Browns. Was it recent? If somebody have it, just send me the link and I'll listen to it. Hey, you all. Hey, Turner, how you doing? It says Stefanski was, I guarantee he was going to put Dylan back out there. He was. When he saw Andrew Berry hugging Shedeur, and Berry probably told him to start Shedeur. I don't think it was Andrew Berry. It was Haslam. It was Haslam by way of, all right. 47. That's all. And that's the only people who can make them move. And they don't even stop the foolishness. Because if that's the reason he got drafted, why would they go in on him like that in camp? They don't care how they treated him after they were forced to get him. Then he going to be QB1. And again, they're not going to care how they treat him. The disrespect has already begun. Anything that worked, Pat Schumer style, they're going to take it out the way. People asked at Colorado, why when the run game was running, why would you put this person in? Or why would you put this person in? It's the same thing. They keep disrupting what's working because I don't want you to succeed. But to me, the tube is already out the toothpaste. I mean, how plausible is it? Shedeur go in here and get stacked 10 times, God forbid himself. But honestly, it could happen. And then people be like, see, the Raiders was just easy. So once again, Shedeur got to jump the hurdles of defeating the Sabotage from his own team while playing the opponent. This is crazy. And we don't know what the opponent going to come with because they're going to come with something. It said Deshaun Watson is washed up. There is a new sheriff in town named Shedeur. I don't know if Deshaun is washed up. Hell, he been injured the whole time he been there. And what did I say about injuries? That's how you take them out the game. It said the Wildcats office really showed me what you be saying is true. They try to keep the ball out of Shedeur. Facts. They don't want Shedeur to ball out at all. So they over there plotting. Hey, Clara, how you doing? It said because he's racist. He is. People just need to say it. He's not stubborn. It's not praise that Shedeur is looking for. It's respect that he deserves. It's not about praise. It's about respect. It's not about Stefanski being stubborn. He doesn't think Shedeur is worthy. Stefanski's racist. I don't know why people scared to say it. That's what it is. If it walked like a duck and it talked like a duck or quacked like a duck, it's a goddamn duck. It's not he's stubborn. He's unwilling to have a black quarterback to lead that franchise to victory long term. And they haven't fired him yet. So there we go. It said they need to fire Kevin Stefanski and make the OC. I do believe that that's what they should do. But I feel like they're not going to do nothing with Stefanski till the end of the season. And if I'm Andrew Berry, and Andrew Berry is getting his way, and Kevin Stefanski is being vetoed, you would think, I want y'all to see how excited these people were in the booth. Let me see if I can find it still. They were so excited. I said, there's no way they're going back to Dylan Gabriel. There's absolutely no way they're going back to Dylan. Let's see if I can show it. And these are like announcers and other people in the organization. I'm like, yeah, they ain't going back to Dylan. So you would think with Barry, with his guy increasing his draft stock, he going to protect Shedeur from Stefanski to make sure Stefanski don't reduce his draft stock. Right? Am I right? They in the same organization. So you got Stefanski going against Barry and Haslam. You don't think Haslam want to buy low, sell high? Of course he does. Because he don't want him that next year. So you would think he would tell fire Stefanski and get somebody else. Let Shedeur play so he can move on to another team. But see, Stefanski's vision is to destroy. Because he don't think Shedeur is worthy. And that's just all it is, guys. So let's see. I think I found it. Let's see right here. All right. So I'm going to give you some context. Okay. And you're going to have to look at the screen because I can't play the audio. Okay. I cannot play the audio. You're just going to have to read the words on the screen and look at the emotions. And I'm going to tell you about it. You want to put the link in the chat here. I'll put the link in the chat so you can look at it on your own. Oh, that's not it. I'll put the link in the chat so you can look at it maybe later. Okay. So here we go. Context. This is a booth. This guy with the headset on with the binoculars is calling the game, right? He's calling the game. The people with the Cleveland on, I think that's Cleveland or maybe that's some other team. But I thought those were Cleveland people down there in the background, unless that's some St. Louis team or something. But consider it as Cleveland. You think that's some Cleveland people. Look at how excited people were. Look at the excitement Shedeur has brought to the game. All right. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Okay. I gotta. Where's the thing? Damn it! I gotta turn the volume off first. Okay, but you're gonna see the closed caption on the screen and know what's going on, and the emotion tells you everything. I think that's a Cleveland person, by the way. All right, so you see his mouth moving. He calling the game. He's saying what's going on. That is a Cleveland person back there in the background, and he's calling the play with Shedeur to Dylan Sampson and touchdown. Do you see these people? These people are not going back to Dinkin and Duncan. And I don't know who that is with that Browns jersey number 40 or something like that. I don't know who that is. Do you see how excited they were? Do you see how excited they were? They're not going back to no dinking and dunking. I'd be shocked if they did. And it's almost like Stefanski want to protect Dylan trade value. And what do you think that is? If Pickett left, if Flacco left with a 6th-round pick, what the hell you think they're going to get for Dylan? At least Flacco went over there and won some games, played better, which showed that Stefanski is not a good coach. So why is it that Stefanski is trying to make sure Dylan is the guy? Because he doesn't think Shedeur is worthy. That's why he never wanted him in the first place. He just been pretending. So I hope Shedeur understands that Jerry Jeudy was pretending, Cedric Tillman was pretending, and be on the lookout for anybody that you saw them hanging around because they pretending too. Because Stefanski is pretending. And to disrespect that young man on a historic night when he not only helped them win and stop a 3-game losing streak tells you it don't matter how much Shedeur win. I don't want him to be the quarterback. That's gross. And that's why he should be fired. So that's what it is. So now you see, instead I wouldn't play if I was quarterback Sanders. It is so this skills already. I mean, he is good. He's already shown his skills. So yeah, I say that. It said lies, and more lies are being told against Shedeur. Yep. And they still plotting. That's what it is. They still plotting. They still plotting. And that's so sad, right? That's just so sad. It said the Philadelphia Eagles game make you really, they don't even like to watch this football. It's WWE. Are you talking about the Eagles game? Please do the history on Cleveland Browns. Okay, I guess we shall. Because I didn't know about Jim Brown. I guess we shall. Thank you, OG. Are you a Cleveland Brown? Are you in Cleveland? You've been a lifelong fan. What's your association with the Cleveland Browns? In terms of, do you live in the city? Are you a Browns fans now? Or was this, you just happened to learn about Jim Brown? Let me know. It'll be interesting. Probably ask some questions. Teller blocked yesterday. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. It said Kevin blocked the first team from playing with Shedeur. Right. And he had to learn in a game. And understand this. Learning in a game meant I'm not going to do as well. Right. But that last play, when you heard Shedeur say on the last drive, oh, this what it is. And he threw the ball to Gage. That right there. This right here, this lead. That's his saving grace. I'm telling you, that was it. Because had he not thrown that gave people so much hope. We need to see him back out here. So when he gets out here, he's QB1. They set him up. Kevin Stefanski didn't even want him to get up past the touchdown, which meant that's why you never saw Gage run that same play. They actually lined Gage up on the left. And I was like, maybe he's going to run that play. But they didn't. And hell, he probably could have got it over them. Gage redeemed himself early on. But it shows you Kevin Stefanski be plotting because he saw in the Ravens game, yeah, Shedeur got an arm on him. Well, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to make it so he don't get no passing touchdowns. And they didn't call no plays for him to be a rushing touchdown. Understand. And if that's what happened in the Raiders game and he still got away, it just... injury on the list. He gonna have to get out of that too. And now they know he see the blitz coming. See, he's smarter than they gave him credit for. They were treating him like he was dumb. They were treating him like that because they didn't want to admit who he really was. He even said it. Once the organization realized who I was, I told y'all he got some allies on the inside, but he got some frenemies too. He got some haters too. And he knows this. And when he said everybody wants me to fail, he ain't just talking about the media. He talking about some internal people too. Like I said, he's being transparent now. God has Shedeur Sanders back. Facts. I totally agree with that. Kevin Stefanski is there to complete a mission. Once the mission is complete, he might be fired. And guess what the mission is? What's happening in this year's draft? They have seemingly successfully blocked any quarterbacks coming into that are black coming into the first round, with the maybe the exception of the one that they chose, Dante Moore. But I ain't heard no much about him lately either, so I don't know. So after that, he could go because he been working there the whole time. Number 3 on some slick stuff. Buster. You heard what quarterback Sanders say to Crosby. You try to kill me. And they know each other. Do you see how Coach Prime hugged him? I'm not sure what the last part say. Are you talking about Shedeur? If you're talking about Shedeur, yeah. Lily say once one hate you, they all hate you. I don't know. It could be some truth there. It said the Cleveland Browns organization has been associated with several incidents and discussion regarding racism. Okay. Thank you for that. If you know what they are, just email me and tell me. I'll look into it. Yeah, what's happening is vile. What's happening is wicked. They not gonna stop. And it's just the truth of the matter. It said Bailey is the backup. It said Dylan is the backup, not Bailey. He back to the practice squad. Oh, they put Bailey back on the practice squad. Oh, that's crazy. So that means they're gonna try to get Dylan back out there. I'm pretty sure Bailey's app is better than Shedeur, right? I mean, better than Dylan, right? 6 million followers and counting. Will be loud and clear. Yep. We say it's 8 million out. We got indirect support. It's about 10. And when you want to put the global people out there, maybe it's 11 or 12. I don't know. Yep, that's it. That's what people are overlooking. Project 2025. It said, yes, a general manager or GM can fire a head coach, but it depends on the team's specific organizational structure and the final say of the team's owner. Haslam already said, told us what their duties were. He said Barry chooses the people, which is a lie because he picked the people and Barry go get them. And Stefanski decides who's going to play. Now, understand this, right? If that's the case, and they had Andrew Barry out doing interviews about Coach Prime and Shedeur coming to Cleveland, and then they switched to Dylan, and now you see that Stefanski picked Dylan. They actually vetoed the person that Barry thought he wanted to get. So when people say Barry didn't want Shedeur, you know why Barry didn't want Shedeur? Because what did Haslam say? We took a big swing and missed with Deshaun. You know, people think that was on Andrew Barry. And here's the thing. You know how that doesn't suffice? Aren't you going to draft the quarterback this year? And don't you still have Deshaun? Oh, but since you could get you a white quarterback, you didn't take a big swing and miss with Deshaun. You still going to get you a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? But when it was a black quarterback, no, we still got Deshaun. Okay, you're going to have Deshaun next year. They already said they're not trading him. They just going to waste his time too. When we came into the situation, you know what they were saying about Deshaun? He has played his last snap in the NFL. I'm like, how the hell you know that? Because that's what they wanted it to be. And that's what it's going to be. You can see that that's what it's going to be. And that's what they wanted it to be with Shedeur. But Shedeur got about 8 million fans that say, the hell with that. And Deshaun don't have that. So if these guys don't come into the league with no kind of support or fan base to speak up for them, oh, they going to get done dirty. They going to get done dirty. Whether it's in college or whether it's in the NFL. That's just what it is. Love seeing the hug between Andrew Barry and Shedeur. Yeah, a lot of people said that. I feel like Andrew Barry told Shedeur, I'm going to get you out of here. At least that's me. See, I'm like them. I'm wishful thinking. I hope that's what Andrew Barry told Shedeur. You did good. You increased your draft stock. I'm going to get you out of here. But now watch Stefanski. Let's see if they allow Stefanski to negate Shedeur's draft stock. If y'all say Dylan is back at the QB2 and Bailey is back on the practice squad, then you know they're going to try to put Dylan back out there. And the only way you're going to do that is by making Shedeur look bad. Remember, the Browns have a defense too. I like Shedeur's chances versus the 49ers. Okay. It said quarterback says that they will have to throw a touchdown pass the 20-yard line to get touchdowns because if you get TDs to the end zone, they don't take the ball out of his hands. Oh, yeah, facts. You're saying if Shedeur gets the ball to the end zone, they're going to take the ball out of his hands, so he got to throw a touchdown pass. I totally agree. And that was his strategy with Dylan Sampson. turning Dylan, who is a running back, into a wide receiver because you can't trust the wide receiver on this side, which is Jerry Jeudy, right? So I'm going to take Dylan and understand they're going to try to change that this week. Let's see what happens. The goal is to see, now that 47 has come back through, are they going to leave Stefanski in place to continue to do damage to hurt Shedeur's draft stock, to try to put Dylan back out there, to get Shedeur physically hurt, or to make him look inept so Dylan has to get back to the one? Let's see. I mean, 47 came through in the draft and he got drafted, but look at how he's been treated the whole way through in Cleveland. So it worked until it didn't. And the same thing might be the case right now. Stefanski thinks the plays he calls wins. Shedeur's wins with his players. He's having to overcome the line and starter sabotage with the few hungry dogs. Oh, veteran or QB1. Oh, who are you talking about sabotage? The veterans like Jeudy and Tillman, with the few hungry dogs they allow him to play with. Yeah, I think I got you. The people they put out there are not the hungry dogs. And what did he say? Again, he's being transparent. We still got a few hungry dogs that ain't made the travel squad. Let's see if they make the travel squad. Because Jerry Jeudy should have never been out there, and he don't need to make the travel squad. He need to be fired. They need to bring back Tony Brown. That's what they need to do. Because they owe him his job back. It said 12 will show up and show out against the 49ers. Okay. It say, I've been saying that Stefanski is a big time. Of course he is. Of course he is. It said, did you see that during the game, they punted the ball on the 29-yard line instead of allowing Shedeur to throw a first down and make it? Yeah. Did y'all see it was like 4th and 2 or 4th and 3? It was less than 4 and 5. It was the first drive of the game. I said, they're not going to go for it. I'm like, maybe it's the first drive of the game, so they want to somehow finagle the time of possession. Nope. They just wanted to get 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. They gave him the third drive and the third drive only. That was the Ravens game, and that was this game. Trying everything they can to minimize a passing touchdown for Shedeur. Wait till he get a rushing touchdown. They're going to have a fit. So I'm curious. Now that 47 came through and Shedeur got the, start this game. He didn't say that, but he was like, I told you. I'm just curious to know if they still have Stefanski, or they going to put him on a leash until they can fire him at the end of the season. But I think they're going to fire him. I just don't know when it's going to be. Maybe next week. Let's see what happens. Because if he sets Shedeur up and people see it, I don't know. It could get ugly. It could get ugly. It could get ugly. It said the line is excellent blocking for the Wildcat. I don't understand how they're so lost and incompetent blocking for regular plays. I don't know. People think it's incompetence. I say it's intentional. It said, do you think 12 will stay in Cleveland? No. I think Andrew Berry was happy because Shedeur Sanders outproduced his draft stock. That was the whole goal. Shedeur Sanders is going to outproduce his draft stock. I'm like, and when is that going to be? They said the last 4 games. Kevin Stefanski was like, that's just speculation. And people were like, what the hell you mean by that? He was basically trying to tell people that ain't going to happen. And then Shedeur gets in earlier. But he can only get in if Dylan is injured. So basically they were trying to say, Shedeur not better than Dylan. He can only play because Dylan is injured. And it was said that Stefanski was like, as soon as Dylan healthy, he's going to be right back out here. And then here we go. So I don't know if they're going to do this week by week. But they don't want to say out of their mouths that Dylan is better than Shedeur, but everybody sees it. Because the hierarchy of the team is Shedeur's only playing because Dylan is hurt. Is Dylan back from the little concussion protocol, the concussion nobody ever saw? So did they fake an injury so they don't devalue Dylan? But they don't mind devaluing Shedeur by saying he's a backup only playing due to injury. It actually says that somewhere. I read it. This is the second time Stefanski thought he was going to roll with Dylan again. So let's see what happens. And if they take Shedeur out and don't let him play against Cam, I'm going to be upset. Because that's the game I want to see. Dollar General sold. Yep. It said my earlier comment was wrong. It said Haslam forced Stefanski to bench Dylan Gabriel earlier today and to start Shedeur. Yeah, because of 47. Who came through first? 11-13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 47. What time was the announcers made? 1 o'clock. Common sense says 47. It ain't Haslam. Link to Eric Dickinson. And okay, on the pivot. Oh, he's on the pivot? Oh, now we talked about that. Remember when he was on that show, All the Smoke, with Steven Jackson, that's y'all say his name is, Stack of Steven Jackson, and Matt Barnes. Remember I said, why is he not on a football show? Why is he not on a pivot? Why is he not on Unc and Ocho? He should be on a football platform. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely go watch it, and we're probably gonna react to it tomorrow. Good looking out, Ace. Good looking out, Tina. Thank you so much. It said that guy is a stockholder in an organization. Okay, he could be, because he up there. He's up there. Isn't 44 Harold Fannin Jr.? Yep. I wonder if CP told him something before the game. I don't know, but Shedeur must really like him. Stefanski has an issue with Shedeur's 6 million followers in celebrity. It could be. He got an issue. You could have stopped that. He got an issue. And put a period behind it. You saw Coach Prime hug. Oh, Coach Prime was on the sideline? 84 is Gage, right? So yeah, you saw Coach Prime hug Gage. I didn't know Coach Prime was on the sideline. Okay. It says a lot that they let Coach Prime, be back there in the locker room and stuff like that. Then he was up there in the suite. And I was trying to figure out whose suite he was in. I don't know. Because I thought he knew the owner, Mark Davis, but maybe not. I didn't see Tom Shady nowhere, though. Didn't see Tom Shady. Still haven't heard a word about Tom Shady. Browns are riding the Shedeur wave now. It said now posted Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh draft video on their IG. And what date did they post that? Recently? Oh, maybe the Browns assigned Shiloh. Okay. Understand this. I understand this. I was thinking about this before I went live. There's going to come a time you're going to see people kissing up to Coach Prime about making nice. I said Jerry Jones was going to send a Coach Prime a text. Hey, Prime, how's it going? Like, ain't nothing happened. Why? Because I'm in hot water. I don't want y'all to sue me. It is not a coincidence that Attorney Crump keeps posting about this case. It's not a coincidence Shedeur is being transparent. They robbed this young man. So if I'm all in Coach Prime face, maybe if I let Shiloh come on over here and play, maybe they won't sue me. They trying to make Stefanski look normal for a reason. By normal, I mean, he don't hate Shedeur. I'm like, he racist. Have you heard any of them say that? No. But that's what it is. So I was shocked that Coach Prime was in the tunnel. But then again, maybe that was a Vegas thing. I don't know. But just stay tuned for how all of that go, right? Rennie said, Stefanski can't get away with it no more because the president tweeted, I told you so. The world is looking at what Stefanski is doing. He can't get away with it anymore unless they put out a player to hit to hurt him. I mean, I told you that's on the list, right? When everything I keep trying don't work, that's what they go to. Tyrod Taylor. He didn't even get hurt on the field. They punctured his lungs. So Shedeur don't take nothing from these people. Like, don't nothing. Eat at your house. Right? Don't have none of them over there because you don't know who you could trust. Hell, we thought we could trust Jerry Jeudy. People just calling him Jerry Judas because that's what he is. That's just what he is. I'm like, damn, he really exposed himself. And then Shedeur still got the touchdown anyway. How stupid can you feel? How stupid can you be? Guess Jerry thought he was bigger than the team. It said those guys were hired to break into their house. Facts. It's coming. It's coming. Yes, Zapp is better than Dylan. So why they don't want Bailey Zapp to play? Why they don't want him to play? They went and got him. They could have had Huntley. You see, they cut Huntley. They just waived him. He had to fend for himself. Luckily, he was a Pro Bowler for the Ravens. So they brought him back. But he had to fend for himself. Then they brought Zapp over, put him behind Shedeur. Because I guess Dylan hurt. I don't know. And now y'all saying Zapp is back to the practice squad. And Shedeur and Dylan has emerged. Interesting. I believe Shedeur has a copy of the New York Giants interview. Maybe the burglars were looking for that. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. You know, I was thinking they was looking for his draft phone. I was like, what the hell would they need that phone for? I'm like, because anything on that phone, I can call up to Boost Mobile and say, hey, let me get my phone records if I need a phone number. But I did think they were looking for some type of flash drive because contents of the nightstand, right? And they took, and it said it. They cleaned out the contents. They took the contents of the nightstand. They actually said that. If they looked through it, they would have said they looked through it. They didn't even have to mention that. They put that out there. They took the contents of the nightstand. And I think, was it the next day that Stefanski said, yeah, Shedeur is ready? I'm like, oh, he ready now that you robbed him? What the hell? Did you get some? So that's a good idea. Because I know he got some evidence. So they saying Shedeur got a copy of the draft video. You think he recorded it? Because how would he get it? Unless somebody sent it to him. He got something. He got something. That's why Shedeur keeps saying he wants to play with the hungry dogs because he can trust them to have a bond. It says Shedeur knows he can't trust Judy. He sure does. He didn't think that before the game, though, but he know it now. And even after the first Ravens game, when Judy stopped running around, he didn't know it because he trusted him to get him that ball. And you see what he did, and you saw after that. And then Jerry gonna come over by Shedeur, and I was like, "Ooh, you a snake, bro." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so okay, I see you." So he want to play with the hungry dogs. Now put that with Tommy Reese saying that Shedeur is going to play a lot with the people that he came in with, the rookies, as well as the people from the spring. I'm like, what the hell are we practicing with the ones for if he playing with them people? They didn't trust Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. And that meant Tommy Reese, the only person we said to speak positively about Shedeur, is earning trust with the fans because we now see he was trying to help Shedeur. They already knew internally what was going on. And I bet Stefanski came along and messed it up. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Could be wrong. But that's what it seemed like. And I said, he got an ally over there. And I didn't want to ask y'all who it was in the public because I ain't trying to. If it's an ally and not a friend of me, I want them to stay. Friday on Members Only Podcast. Join us. Members, 6 o'clock. I'm gonna identify that person. And I don't know who it is. But we're gonna talk about it behind closed doors because I ain't trying to have nobody get that person out the way. But it looked like he got some allies over there. And I think Tommy Reese is starting to possibly emerge as one. Not ready to say for sure. But there's somebody else I hope is not a friend of me that seems to be an ally. So later for Stefanski. He just wrote a check that he can't cash. That is very possible. That is very possible. That is very possible. He wrote a check that he can't cash. It said the only way Dylan is getting back out there is if Shedeur get hurt. It says Shedeur can never look bad compared to Dylan. That's a valid point. So what did I say? You might want to look for the injury play. You might want to look for the injury play. And they have been letting them get away with roughing the passer. So let's see if the Browns protect Shedeur so they can keep making that money and people being excited. Because it's time to buy season tickets. Understand that. You get them emails, they blowing up your phone, they send you, hey, we got season tickets. Understand, it is that time of year. So if there's excitement about Shedeur building and people now see some hope, they'll go out and buy those tickets. Yeah, Dylan, he's just not a good quarterback. Facts. It says some of these players, there's jealousy everywhere, right? But here's the thing, right? Y'all saying some people don't like Shedeur. I want you to understand something. You cannot like any goddamn body you want to. But the moment you cross the line into criminality, the moment you cross the line into fraud and trying to mess with their money, but you don't want nobody to mess with your money, you do more damage to yourself. You dig the grave that you thought was for them, for you. Jerry Jeudy's reputation is trash. He better hope he get that $54 million from the Browns. And maybe if Andrew Berry got something to do with it, he'll never get it. Because he ain't getting paid by Stefanski. He getting paid by Berry, who y'all say you like the way he came over and showed appreciation for Shedeur, right? You said that, right? Don't he cut the checks? Okay. Let's see what happened. Let's see if Jerry Jeudy dug a grave for himself. It said, keep in mind the difference between a moment and a movement. And Shedeur Sanders is a movement. Now, that's facts. That's facts. I'm hoping Barry get most of all of them fired. Yeah, because here, understand, we ain't been seen for Barry for weeks. And then he going to pop on out at the Raiders game in the booth, and Tom Shady is conveniently gone. Yeah, okay. And then he brought Deshaun, and he want Deshaun working with Shedeur. Y'all know Stefanski don't want that. See, when they said Deshaun was working with Dylan, they never mentioned Shedeur. Why can he not work with both of them at the game? He didn't even make the game. So now he gonna make the game. Look for the play. And see, they do that with the QB2. Put somebody behind you so you can feel pressure. Shedeur don't feel pressure, though. Again, they overlooking who he is. And they stereotyping him. Race Norman. He not worthy to be a quarterback because they think he dumb. What do you say? They had to get to know me. Well, if they didn't know who he was before, then why did they prejudge him? And if they spent all that time with him, why they didn't know who he was? Understand that. Oh, you told me about Jim Brown. You probably have. You probably did. You probably did. You probably did. Thank you, Clara. Oh, okay. I'm saying Haslam needs to be gone. Yeah, totally. I agree. I agree. Oh, okay. The Ghost of OG said, I'm an ex-boxer who dealt with a lot of racism. I'm 66 years old now, and I can tell you a lot about. I'm not a Browns fan. I am a Sanders supporter of racism in sports. Okay, so you just speaking from a perspective of doing research or learning about what has transpired. Okay, thank you so much for that context. Ghost OG, thank you so much. And you were a boxer? Wow, okay. The 49ers got so many injured players. I think Shedeur has a chance. It said hopefully Stefanski won't sabotage the game. You bet. If he don't, it's because they won't let him. It's because he on the short leash. But I think they're gonna fire him. Not before the game, probably afterwards. Ain't no telling, because he probably gonna set it up to sabotage again, and they're gonna lose or something. But then again, they might win, and they just might see the sabotage like we did in this game. Because you know what? We see the sabotage, and Shedeur still win. That says a lot. That says a lot. It really does. It said, take talking about Shedeur's interception when tonight the 49er QB, Brock Purdy, threw 3 interceptions and Carolina QB had 2. Wow. And let's talk about Shedeur's interception. That wasn't a Shedeur made the wrong judgment call. That was a Travis Hunter beating as a defensive back, defeating the wide receiver on the route. That ain't on Shedeur. It's not. That's not on Shedeur at all. I ain't gonna never say nothing was perfect, but that interception wasn't on him. It says, so if this happened, we all know why it's happening. You want to see Shedeur beat Cam. Did y'all see during the draft someone said Shedeur wouldn't play Cam this year or they wouldn't face off? I didn't. I didn't. I think I looked at the schedule and we checked to see. I don't know why they wouldn't have played unless they thought Shedeur wasn't going to be QB1. Oh, that was the Raiders owner's box. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, understand this. Andrew Berry popped out at the Raiders game. Shedeur was supposed to go to the Raiders. Pete Carroll was saying great things about Shedeur. They clearly don't like Geno Smith. They fired Chip Kelly. Shedeur will likely be traded at the end of this season. Any chance he could end up in Vegas. We didn't see Tom Shady. Any chance Shedeur could end up in Vegas. He could end up somewhere. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It said, yes, they faked an injury. Dylan is fine. They really think people stupid. Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. It said Bosa is likely the hitman. Ah, that's right. That's right. Nick Bosa. I know his history. That's right. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one you got to look for. And he got a brother that played for the Bills. Because I was like, wait a minute. His brother played what Josh Allen is. And I told you why they like Josh Allen. Okay. There you go. See, that's the kind of conversation we're going to be having tomorrow. You know, I got to go look at the 49ers. I think I told y'all I bought the remaining part of the season for Sunday ticket. So I checked. I have the game for Sunday versus the 49ers. So we're going to be live next Sunday, I guess. At I think it's Sunday, right? Isn't in the game Sunday at 1:00? Whatever day the game is at 1:00, which I think is Sunday. For the 49ers, we will be watching. This game will be interesting because the 49ers they are a tougher opponent. Yes, thank you for pointing out Nick Bosa. That is an asset for them. And when I say asset, I don't mean contributor. Bosa is likely to hit man with the cooperation of his Matador line. Interesting. Thank you for telling us that. I'm going to have to be looking. It said, Coach was in the owner suite and Shiloh was with his mom and sister. Oh, okay. So you saw the three of them? Okay. All right. It's on well-off video of Coach Prime walking on the sideline. Oh, okay. I haven't watched it. Okay. It said Nick Bosa is injured, right? Is he injured? Did he play tonight? Let me check real fast. This is good intel. This is really good. This is good tea. Let's see. Yeah, he's one of their assets for sure. Is Nick Bosa injured? So Brock Purdy's back. They got Mac Jones at the 2. Okay. Yeah, where he ends up will be interesting to see. Mac Jones. Yes, Nick Bosa is injured and will miss the remainder of the 2025 NFL season after suffering a torn ACL in his right knee during a game against the Arizona Cardinals. Whoa, God damn. He's injured. All right, well, there we go. He's injured. So people want to know Nick Bosa's out. Thank you for that, Miss Pamela. Clara said, remember what I said? I was never a Browns fan, but I was a Jim Brown fan. Okay. Okay. I kind of vaguely remember, but I'm pretty sure you told me. Miss Clara. It said Kevin Stefanski can't defend Zappy being better than Dylan. I guess I don't know why not. I don't know why not. Coach Prime is NFL royalty. Say that again. Say that again. Coach Prime is NFL royalty. It sure didn't look like it during the draft because, yeah. It was nice and shocking to see him in the tunnel. It was interesting when they finally started letting Bucky film. At the same time, you saw them little 3 kids behind Haslam. It was interesting to see Coach Prime in somebody's booth. Thank y'all for telling me who it was. Sound like the whole Sanders clan was around there. They're just in different areas. I'm sure DeAndre dropped a video. Bucky dropped a video probably already. I just haven't seen it. Shiloh, hopefully he dropped a video. Shiloh might already. I thought I saw her post something. I don't know if that was before the game. I've been moving fast, so I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I will take some time. So Nick Bosa's out. So I'm gonna have to look at their stats. They beat the Panthers. We'll see what that means and see what's going on. Interesting though. It says they probably went into his bathroom too, looking for private things to blackmail. I agree with that. Zappy is a veteran. We know peaks at bad. Dollar General might get better. Playing a bad rookie who might improve is reasonable unless you have a more skilled rookie. Zap is established. Oh, you're trying to say why they don't want to put Zap out there. Okay. That's interesting. Zap is bad like Pickett. Then why the hell they get him? Because Huntley wasn't that bad. Oh, wait, I forgot. Huntley's black. What am I thinking? Check your email. I shall, Miss Pat Davis. Thank you so much. You meant the owner. We got you. Tom Brady was a commentator on the Philly game last night. So he found something else to do. Interesting. I think they try to blackmail him too, because why go to his house? Because that's where his jury at, I think. I think that's what the rationale was supposed to be. Anybody who saw that video knew he had a safe. Anybody who hung out with him know he used this safe. And they looked at that video. The most watched parts were Florida face, Bucky's face. Bucky's face twice, I think. And Shedeur talking to Jordan Seaton where you could see the room a little bit. Not the whole closet part. That's what I told people. People saying it was the closet part. I said, nah, that wasn't even the most watched part of the video when he was going in his room going through that stuff. That wasn't even the most watched part. It was Florida's face. When you go directly to the most watched parts on that video and you put your cursor, you're going to see Florida's face. You're going to see Bucky's face. You're going to see Bucky's face again. Then you're going to see Shedeur talking to Seton. Then you're going to see them outside where you can see the Cullinan, the door to the house, the camera, and the cars. And they did not disturb the cars. From what I heard, nothing about the cars. And y'all think that was a robbery. That what they took was their reward. Tom Shady was in Dallas announcing the game. That was the internet. That's what the internet was saying. Oh, okay. Interesting. Remember, Prime played for the Ravens, and it's close to the owner. The Ravens? Why the Ravens? Are you talking about the Raiders? You talking about Mark Davis or something? Or was Mark Davis the owner of the Ravens? I don't get the connection between the owner of the Raiders and the owner of the Ravens. Let me know. Okay, so the game is Sunday. We will be live Sunday. Watch party. Nick Bosa is out for the season. Thank you for clarity. Thank you. I love it when Pilar said, my baby knows how to get around the BS. I was thinking she taught him really well. I was like, his mama taught him that. So yeah. And she said it. That's right, baby. She said you didn't get no first team reps or anything like that. So he's being transparent. So I don't know what they went to his house to get, but he's telling his own story now. Understand, this just started. Think about it. This just started. Was he talking while he was sitting on the bench? No, it was after all of that. Arthur Blank, the Ravens owner, is a personal friend of Dion and provided equipment to JSU. Isn't Arthur Blank the owner of the Falcons? I think that's the Falcons owner. From what I understand, that's the Falcons owner, unless he owns two teams, and I don't think so. Purdy is going to be sacked. Oh, the game was still on. Myles Garrett going to have a field day. Yes. Is number 54 injured? Who is that? It said Tommy Reese knows Stefanski has been trying to set up Shedeur, and very soon Tommy is going to spill it. Musgrave already spoke about Shedeur. Didn't they say Coach Prime no Musgrave or something like that? Told you that's why Shedeur going to tear them apart, because Bosa hit dirty. He's out. Bosa is out. He's out. Shalimar did a hilarious TikTok with Teller picking Shedeur up. Oh, that's funny. I got to go watch it. It said, yes, Bosa he wasn't even that good either. It said they tried to say he was better than Michael Parsons. Wow. It said they always trying to compare black superstars and white superstars. Facts. Remember when they compared Caitlin Clark to Simone Biles? I was like, y'all done lost y'all damn mind. I'm like, y'all trying to give her everything the Michael Jordan and Simone Biles already worked hard to achieve. Kid you not. They had a lady on the internet compared Caitlin Clark to Michael Jordan and Simone Biles. I was like, I think I blocked whatever account that was, because that was just foolishness. I'm like, and where the hell is she at anyway? Because you don't hear nothing about her. That's so funny. So funny. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. We down toward the bottom of the comments. It said, Tom Brady said when he was commenting the game. I never heard nobody say that. That's interesting. Dylan Gabriel had a mental. Listen to how Shedeur talked about him in last week pressers. Dylan Gabriel couldn't take it for that second half. So you think that they were protecting him and trying to toughen him up? Interesting. Okay, Pat Davis, I am going to look. Okay, Cameron, got it. So yeah, Arthur Blank is confirmed to be the owner of the Falcons. Okay, so we're going to get ourselves out of here, guys. This was good. Over 250 of us. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be 3 times. Turn your notification on. We'll probably try to come back midday. Definitely try to bring you some breaking news. Now that we know Nick Bosa's out, I guess we go look into who the 49ers are now. Since they played tonight, might check out their highlights. And apparently I got some videos to check out from Well Off Media and some TikToks. So I'm probably going to go catch up on all of that and come back tomorrow. Turn your notifications on, because it's probably going to pop up in the daytime. So Shedeur Sanders, in case you're just not joining us, is QB1, and Stefanski is still on the BS because he disrespected him less than 24 to 36 hours ago. What we don't know is because Trump came through for the second time saying, I told you so, about Shedeur being a good draft pick in his genes. Is that enough to get Haslam to keep Stefanski from trying to set up Shedeur. And on the level of desperation that Stefanski has of keeping Shedeur away from QB1, is injury the next plot, like it has been for some of the other black quarterbacks, to take him, make him unavailable, since we got to keep making you QB1. Don't forget, Andrew Berry got his way multiple times, including Shedeur is going to increase his draft stock. Let's see if they allow Stefanski to try to set Shedeur up to do what? Devalue him and reduce his draft stock. All right. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll be back. More Shedeur Sanders watch. I guess we just see what's going on. Hell, we need to be watching Kevin Stefanski. That's what need to be happening. We need to be watching him to see if he fired yet, because he should have been fired already. So anything could happen any moment, because today was totally unexpected with 47 spinning the block for the second time about Shedeur when it comes to the NFL. So y'all hear something, say something, hit me up on my email, hit me up on my Twitter, hit me up in my DMs. I don't always get to my DMs all the time. I feel like I get to X more than I get to anywhere else, because it's easy to have conversation on X about the hot button issues. So don't be surprised if that's where you see me popping up to respond. Okay, so I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get to, I think I said 6,000 subs by Christmas. And I'm about 250 away. So get me to 250 subs. So hopefully y'all give me a lot of love tonight and we'll get there. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Have a good night.